I'm going to tell you something. For those of you who don't know me, I watch very little television. I read voraciously. I read 6 to 8 books per week. No, seriously. If you don't watch television, you have time to do it. I know, get a life, right? All right, but I have to tell you, I took this book with me on my vacation, all right, and read it twice. And like I say, I've been in the business that many years, and honest to goodness, I have to echo what Neil Oates said this morning. If you don't have a plan for your business, if you don't have a business plan, you're going on a trip without a roadmap. You need to get a copy of this book. You need to take Irina's class. She's going to be selling her book also out there next to Mark during lunch. But this is one of the best, honest-to-goodness books. It gives you step-by-step how to brand yourself in today's real estate market. Brand yourself as a real estate professional. So please join me in welcoming Irina Kim Sang.
Just the front. Well, good morning, everyone. Okay, you can, oh, wow. Dear ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, we are actually on the same boat. So I'm an active agent, broker associate with Coldwell Banker, and I do specialize on serving Russian-speaking affluent clients. So I just gave you my 30-second commercial, and as you can see, this is pretty much, you can differentiate. If you go to Sunny Isles, everyone who does your nails is gonna be licensed. But the question is, are you licensed or you are professional and you're branding yourself, marketing yourself? I'm in business not for 20 years, not for 30 years. I'm in business less than for 4 years, and I was able to break through very fast due to my marketing expertise from my previous marketing experience, professional experience. So let me give you one bad news and one good news. So the bad news is every day we're in the same shoes. Every day we wake up and we have to compete against 45,000 members. Thank you to the association, right? But the good news is in order to become a successful real estate agent, you don't have to be famous. You have to be selectively famous. Would you agree with that? You may not know me in the area of Broward, but people who I'm targeting, for example, financial advisors in New York who bring me Russian affluent clients, they know who I am. So let's do a little exercise, just like quickly right now. Can you please Google your name or Google key search words that you would like to be associated with? Can you run quick test for yourself? I want to see what comes up. All right. I do this exercise on a regular basis for myself. And usually the advice that I give is go to any public place. Because if you use your personal device, you're going to get the results that are actually coming frequently because you do it on your personal phone. But if you go, for example, I go to Apple Store and I would jump on different stations and I'll check out my name and my key search words that I'm positioning myself for. For example, Russian realtor, Russian-speaking realtor, Miami Beach. So if my name comes up, that means I am there, I exist, right? So you just did the test. There are 2 possible outcomes for the test. Number 1, you have nothing about you. What does it mean? It means that you simply do not exist out there for your potential clients. Do you agree that anyone is going to Google your name before they engage in any form of business with you, right? The second possible outcome, something comes up, but you do not like the image or reputation that you project in association with those key search words. So there is something needs to be done. All right. So, and I have a solution for you. When you type, okay, how am I supposed to market myself? How can I brand myself? You will certainly be exposed to so many different sources of information, and the information that you'll get is 101 ideas how to market yourself, or 75 strategies, and you get lost because you will think, okay, should I do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Should I do it January, February, March? So you don't really have a clarity what has to be done. So what I have done is I have put together a formula for you, a model in which there are 7 components, okay? And we're going to go through it very quickly. For the purposes of this presentation, you will see the whole approach, and then I will give you a couple of kind of teasers or a little bit of flavor on the promotional P of this model. So the model consists of the 7 components, which all starts with P. That's why it's called 7P model. And it is asking you the most important questions that each of you have to answer, address to yourself in order to market yourself and establish a brand. So let's start with the first one. Okay. The product, number 1 product. Do you guys know what strengths and weaknesses you have? What will be your differentiation? How you can bring your previous experiences and circles that most of us in this room did not go to college in order to get educated for real estate. We all have past careers that we kind of shut the door to and do not take the past with us to the future. But those circles could become your first initial sales. So think for yourself. Number 1, your strengths. Number 2, your educational background, what can be used from that in your real estate career. And number 3, what circles of connections you can bring from your previous circles of colleagues, friends, etc., partners. Once you assess yourself, which in this case is you are a product, you have to move to question number 2 and find an answer for yourself on who you are going to target. Everyone, all the speakers today clearly communicated the fact that you need to go after niche market. It doesn't mean that you're not, if I'm specializing on specific target group, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to do any other transactions. If they come my way, I will certainly be able to service them. But out there in the world, everyone knows me for a specific reason. So I gave you my 30-second, or we call it elevator commercial, that I'm a real estate agent specializing in servicing Russian-speaking clients. So if the need comes and somebody has a referral, they will know who they are going to refer that business to. So know your niche, or you can go after a specific geographic area, which we call it farming. Number 3, do you have a clear message for the people out in the world? I'll give you a couple of examples which I think are really wrong as a marketer, as a professional marketer. Number 1, realtor for all your real estate needs. Does this communicate a reason for the client to choose you? Second example, waterfront specialist. Similar situation, it's too vague. There is no reason for the potential client to choose you as a product on the shelf out of 45,000 real estate agents. Let me give you some good examples. Number 1, an expert on Miami Beach historic value properties. Do you think it's clearly defined? Okay. Or an expert on gated communities in Boca Raton. Do you think this is more relevant and people will understand why they should call you? It's the same analogy as you would be working in the medical field. The client doesn't want to go to a general doctor when he has such an investment need. They're spending so much money to buy their only home. Do you think they want to work with the specialist or they want to work with the general real estate agent? So clear positioning, which is a distinctive image in the customer's mind, this is the third question that you need to answer for yourself. Number 4, packaging. Now, guys, rewinding the tape, now you know what strength you have to bring to the table, who you're going after, people and place, what message is going to be communicated to them. The 4th P is packaging. This is my advice. You have to outsource this, this component. You have to, the good news is you have to invest into your packaging. Do it once at a very high professional level and be done with it. There is no creativity necessary when you have to design another flyer, another e-blast. You have to follow the templates that you will establish initially as a branding DNA. So set it up, pay once for package, and be done with it. Number 5, so we have 7, remember? Now we have number 5, promotion. When I think of the promotion, and I read a lot, I think this is anything that you can acquire information from different sources always helps in business. But the problem in many cases, there's just too much information. So how do you choose what you're gonna use for your business? How would you say, if I give you an advice, okay, you should do this because it worked for me, it's not necessarily gonna work for you because you're gonna be in different market, right? For the promotion component, let me give you a very, very easy approach how you can think of your promotional plan. All right. Anything you do in order to promote your brand can be simply grouped into 2 avenues. The first avenue is how you're going to promote yourself online, and the second avenue, how you're going to promote yourself offline. Online is a must, as we just did an exercise. When you Googled your name, anyone else, especially in the international market, first they're going to Google your name, right? If you're not findable, you are a secret agent. You're not a real estate agent. And the second, because it's a personal business, we're not in the business of selling cars. We're not in the business of selling fashion. We are in the business of interaction with the clients. You have to have activities which are offline. That's where you actually build your genuine personality, okay? So now it's clear, right? What I'm gonna do here and what I'm gonna do there. Right, so let me give you a little bit more. So this is pretty much the list of your online choices, okay? So you have website, blog, video, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. So nothing new to discover. But the thing is, sometimes you think, okay, I cannot maintain all the 55 channels I want to be in. My answer is simple. You have to have profile, consistent profile on all channels, okay? But the choice of those channels will depend on where your target market is. If your target market are baby boomers and they are not very active on Twitter, you don't use Twitter, okay? If your target market are millennials, you have to be on Instagram, all right? So the choice is, remember, rewinding the tape, going back in time. My professional experience is corporate marketing. We had to choose between the radio, TV, newspaper, all these traditional channels. So treat it the same way what you now have as channels. So you have to be efficient with your marketing in order to reach specific target market. So have a profile established on each channel, but focus on the use of selected ones where your target market is. Offline marketing communication tools. As I mentioned before, you don't have to be famous, you have to be selectively famous. You have to establish presence in the situations where you physically interact with your potential customers. One note that I would like to make is do not interpret customers or prospects as only the end buyers and sellers. Your prospects could be potential partners, right? Referral partners, Like I mentioned an example, I would rather network with architects, right? Because they can procure sources of business, or I would rather interact with financial advisors, CPAs in New York, or attorneys in New York who can procure me business. So try to shift that, that understanding and interpretation who your customers are. Not only immediate, but intermediary customers as well. All right. Now, when you have a list of online communications and offline communications, you gotta put it into one communication plan, okay? In marketing, what we do is you have to have reasons to communicate, but sometimes you think, wow, it's just too much. It seems like everyone is bombarding me with the messages, but I'll give you a very simple math. If you just look into 52 weeks, 12 months, 11 federal holidays, 4 seasons, these are the clarity on the numbers. So you have, guys, can you imagine, you're not gonna actually speak to your customers on a weekly basis, right? You're probably gonna have touch point every two weeks, right? So that limits you to only 26 touch points per year. Can you design 26 different touch points? Yes, you can. All right, and then as a conclusion, you detail it to the plan where you have a marketing objective, headline, key search words. You have to establish what is going to be free, what is going to be paid. So this way you will come up with the marketing budget to promote yourself. 2 more P's and we are done. Platforms. Real estate business is not an instant gratification business, correct? You don't meet someone today and sell tomorrow. So you have to establish platforms throughout your business. Your database is your golden eggs. And last one is projections. Everyone in this room have different experience. Those who have been in the business for less than a year will apply this model because they need to know building components. Those who have been in the business between 1 year and 3, they will see that now they have to narrow themselves to a specific type of niche. Those who have been in the business for more than 3 years, they can now see how the cycle has changed and maybe you need to reposition your brand, okay? So, with this in mind, looking back to the model, you can see how components actually put yourself into the controllable situations. So you know 7 questions that you have to answer for yourself in order to start building your brand. And let me leave you with this. Enjoy personal branding as a journey to discovering you, because you have to be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Thank you so much.